Dude, this morning I'm doom scrolling social media as I always do. In the morning, I'm trying to catch up on the world, see if I'm famous yet, all the things of LinkedIn, trying to chase virality and nonsense. Absolute nonsense. But someone I really, really respect and, dare I say, try to emulate when I think about recording these shows and like building strictly from nowhere. Shout out to Stephen Bartlett. I'm a big fan of the Diary of CEO, and I'm a big fan of his journey as a founder and as a thought leader and an influencer, legitimately an influencer to the next generation of business owners. And he posted something this morning that I want to read to you that like
All
I
right.
immediately was fucking fired up about. But also it's like a little bit of our reality. It articulates some of the things that we chase and try to put into practice. And I think, well, let's just read it. This is what Stephen Bartlett said. The willingness to be disliked is maybe the rarest currency in business. You're going to annoy people either way. You'll be annoying for having standards or annoying for having none. Who are you? The villain who sends work back or the friend who lets poor work ship? I've tried both. I've been the nice leader who says great job when it wasn't, who accepts the acceptable, who chooses being liked over being right, and I've been the impossible one, the one who makes people redo things, who says this isn't it, when everyone wants to go home, who ruins Friday afternoon for the truth. Here's the thing nobody tells you. They forget the inconvenience, but remember the rewards. They forget the long nights, but remember what we built. They forget you being annoying, but remember becoming better. People pleasing is just slow motion failure. Every "that's fine" when it isn't is a debt you'll pay with interest. Every standard you don't enforce becomes the new standard. The willingness to be disliked for your standards is rarer than talent, rarer than funding, rarer than good ideas. Everyone can execute, few can reject. Everyone can build, few can say, let's rebuild. Everyone wants to be loved, few are willing to be excellent. And that gap, that space between wanting to be liked and needing to be great, that's where everything important happens. Your future reputation will be built on your present unpopularity. You'll neither be annoying for demanding excellence or annoying for accepting average. Choose your annoying. This fired me up, bro. You and I talk about this all the time. I really talk
That
about
was
this
that's
all the time. Like, I want to get punched in the face on an A team.
yes. Well, what did I think I had a I want to say it was a year ago. Maybe it was last summer. We were in one of those ruts, I want to say. We had a bunch of new hires and I wasn't doing the work myself. I was more of an entrepreneur again, and things were not going. There was a lot of bugs. People didn't know how to do things. Things were, and I finally kind of broke it down into this restaurant I used to work at. I always talk about this one restaurant I used to work at. It was called Beso in New Paltz. That's no longer there. The owner was a husband and wife. The husband was the chef, and he was incredible. Honestly, to this day, I still say it was the best food I've ever had in my life. Like the dude could cook. Like he was amazing. And his wife ran a very, very tight ship. And it was hard. I watched her fire someone on the floor, like for literally tripping up the stairs and dropping like multiple plates of food. Like it was, and she was had this thing where it was like no water glass should ever be below a half. So if like and the way she would do it was she wouldn't tell you to do it. She'd go out there and fill the water glass and just smile back at you like you missed one. And so there was a lot of people that hated this. But when I tell you the chemistry of the staff that worked at that time, it was amazing. And we made a ton of money. I remember the customer saying, "You guys must love it here." And I remember us thinking, like, this is incredibly stressful. This person, she's crazy. She doesn't, the standards are so high. Like, what do you mean? Like, everything's got to be polished. Had to change the silverware between every course. It had to be perfect. And she wanted every night to be perfect. And it was stressful, but we made a ton of money and we were an incredible team. And I later had worked at a restaurant that was much more, I would say, enjoyable for the staff, but they struggled financially. They struggled financially for years. I never made as much money as I ever did there. Every week it was like, are we going to get out? Is anybody going to come into this place? Are we going to make any tips today? Are we, but it was a good restaurant. I loved working there. I loved the people there, but it wasn't a World Series team. It was not that. And looking back on it, I said I've been on the winning team and I've been on the losing team, and I choose the winning team every time. But unfortunately, what it takes to be a winner is not something that everyone's going to like. And what I was seeing in our team at that time was not a lack of training, it was sort of a lack of hustle. It was a there was very lax, it was, we were missing such simple things. We just weren't filling the freaking water glasses. It was like this was not a gap in knowledge. Like you simply did not check your work thoroughly enough. And unfortunately, when that becomes second nature, so this is when the winning team becomes great. That's very stressful at first, and at some point it becomes so second nature that you don't ever miss a water glass, that you don't ever drop a plate of food, that you don't ever take an order down, because it becomes second nature to become excellent. Or you say, you know what, I didn't quite remember that order. I'm going to go back and ask before I put it into the kitchen. You double check everything. You dot your I's, you cross your T's. So it's not just this like becoming, it's like being that boss sucked. But when you're on that team and you're one of the people that's an A player in that team, and the whole team is like that, that feels great when you know you're the best in the business. And so I didn't build this agency to be fucking second best in the business. There's no point, dude. There's no point. I say this all the time as an engineer. You can go to work and make more money than owning your own business. There is no purpose to owning your own business if you're not going to be great at it. There's no purpose to doing this if you're not going to make more money than you would if you if this is not a lifestyle. Making payroll is not fun, dude. It's much easier to go work at a better company and not have to deal with that shit. I don't want to be the guy that says you got to fill the water glass up. So don't make me be that guy. I just get it right. Once I show you, get it right. So I love that because we talk about that all the time. There's one thing to not know how to do something complicated and need to learn it. By God, you got to get the little things. Or like, but do not lose the game because on mobile you forgot to check if the form submits. Don't because that leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. Don't drop the ball like that. Don't lose the game like that. Lose the game because you were trying to do something too difficult. But man, I love that. You knew I was going to love that because I had that
I know.
speech with the team, that
I remember
restaurant
it well.
speech. It's
I remember it well. And I
you
think
want
one
to
of
be
the things that
winners.
you and I are challenged by, and I think one of the things that most leaders are challenged by, is the balance between wanting to be liked and wanting to be effective. And there is a balance there, definitely. But I err on the side, if I'm just being fucking straight up, I err on the side of wanting to be liked. I think that that's just in my personality. I think that that just fuels me, is wanting to be liked. I am in my growth moment, and I think you might be a little bit opposite of me, where you don't really give a shit about being liked. You care about being effective. But I think
Never
that
been liked.
the
No.
combination of the two of us makes for the right balance that we need to execute on the team, and we hold each other accountable as we're having those conversations. The reason why I bring up our unit, the two of us together, is because for anybody that is listening to this, that's building their business, that's a big team of one at the leadership level, you got to have a real conversation with yourself in the mirror about what I just said and what Stephen Bartlett is really talking about. You either want to be outstanding and potentially disliked for that, but you'll have an incredibly effective team and you'll reap the reward of running such a tight ship, or you want to be liked, in which case you may run a cool leisure brand, you may do something effective for a couple years, dare I say you might have some type of viral moment and succeed, and all of that's great. But at the end of the day, you might have transient staff that don't feel like they're accomplishing anything absolutely great. Or you might have investors that, they like you, but are they going to trust you with another round when you fundraise again and ask for more money? So there is this dialogue that needs to take place at the leadership level. I, for one, have this conversation with myself all the time. Do I really care about being liked, or do I care about being effective and winning this whole game? And so I think this is really timely, just what you and I are going through, and running this business as a pair makes it so that this has accountability built into it. And so I love it.
It's funny you mentioned like what you that you like to be liked. I've known you a very long time, and I actually remember when I first met you, we were teenagers. And I feel like someone, maybe it was Jack, I forget who said it, but they said they just try really hard to be liked. And if they were just themselves, they'd be fine. And it was talking about you. And it's so funny, like you bring that full circle because that comes to my mind. And what was funny to me too was like, I think a few weeks ago, and I'll bring it up because you had a very viral post. It was viral for the wrong reason. And I said to my wife, I said to Stephanie, I go, I'm loving this shit, but this is killing Justin. I said, I know him. I said, he does not like to be disliked like this. And for me, like, this is my stage. Everybody else just a player in it. You know what I mean? Like dude, my family loves me. I got a great life. Like what people say on the internet literally has zero effect. Like what people say on me to my face in real life has almost no effect on my demeanor. Definitely has no effect on me online, but I knew that it was killing you, and you did delete the post, which I think was right because I was just like, dude, just get rid of it. Who cares? It's just, it was so frustrating to go viral for the wrong, like to get, and like you were totally misunderstood, you know. For me, I go, I'm from I tell people all the time, I go, I'm from the old internet, you know what I mean? We used to be able to rip each other apart with no repercussions, like, so don't mess with me. I'm ready for a roast. So it was fun. It was funny, but you are right. You have to get over that because, and like, I think the hard thing about hard things, taking it seriously, that book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things, talks about as a leader, you're remembered for your mistakes and the things you did wrong, not the things you did well. And people will always remember and harp on those things. And you have to get used to that idea. Like people will remember me and you for our mistakes and the things we said wrong. And I even see it now, like the posts, like they have to be contentious to go anywhere. And it's annoying. And then sometimes people like kind of call you out on it. And I'm like, well, what do you think? I'm on here for my freaking health, bro? Do you think I like social media? Dude, the first thing I'm going to do when I'm
Yeah,
rich is
I know.
take this phone and throw it away. You will never be able to call me. Dude, I'll have a
Go
phone
back to
for like
hard
six
knocks.
family members. That's it. My kids can call
Yeah,
me. My
right.
wife can call me. Done. Because I don't do this because I like it. Like, come on. Even like the building of software, people are like this and that. I go, dude, I would love nothing more. Dream scenario, like Mitchell Hashimoto making a fucking terminal just because he wanted to. That's the dream, dude. He's like, I don't need to make money off this. I'm rich already. Like that's the dream is to just create and to be free of all that nonsense. But as a business owner, hear it. I see you. I know you're frustrated by this because we all have to play this stupid social game, and it's the only way to get business and to be relevant in this world. You saw the post the other day too with the creator of Tailwind who had to get like real raw on his walk and the thing goes viral, and you're sitting here thinking to yourself, great, like this raw, like I had to lay everybody off. All you guys are talking about Tailwind. A bunch of people probably donated to Tailwind on that day. It's like, where were you the last 6 months? You know what I mean? Where were you the last year when I'm like over here drowning? And you post something raw and the game is the game. What I learned is you can't hate the game. You're better. You have to lean into it. When I graduated college in 2008, I remember being really frustrated by like the job market at that time, and it felt like everything wasn't going right. And I think again, I forget who said something, but someone was just sort of like, you just need to lean. This is the way the world works, and you have to lean into it. And like the more you resist, the further you're going to get from the place you want to be. And so that's why, I'm on the social like you are. I'm trying my best, posting all the time. I'm trying, I'm trying to create things in the world. I'm trying to build a great business, trying to build a great team. But it does mean that sometimes you are not well
And I
liked. You
think,
are not well liked for that.
it's irrelevant if you're effective. If you're really that effective, it's irrelevant whether you're liked or disliked or whether people like you or dislike you. It is actually doesn't freaking matter. And so I am realizing, right? Like I'm 37 years old. I am realizing now, and hopefully this will carry me through the rest of our career and what we do as leaders, that people's opinions of you are less relevant. People's opinion of what you produce and what you make and what you contribute to the world is really the secret. And so while I'm here, I'm not trying to create enemies. I don't think that is productive. We often talk about
No, no. But you want people to know you're
That's
shouting,
right.
dude. That you want people to like, you want some signal that anything you post in the
That's right.
world is doing something, that people are listening. Like I got you in mind for when I need to build an app. Like it's fucking hard, dude. It's frustrating. People make it like that marketing
That's
shit's
right.
so easy. You know, it's not, dude. It's professional being liked for a living. Like it's literally like I've been told my whole life by my parents, like you're a leader, not a follower. Don't care what other people think of you, right? Sticks and stones, all that shit. And then you got to go into the world of marketing, and the whole career is the art of being liked. That's the fucking title. The art of being liked by
Well,
people. It's
it's the
fucking
same thing
annoying. It's not for me,
in most
but I'm
soft
trying.
skills roles. Like you talk about client services, you talk about sales, you talk about marketing, you talk about anything in that soft skills arena. It really is all about getting along, being well liked, coming up with something that people like and enjoy. But there is the opposite side of all of that, which is go the total dark side. Like specifically be on the side of irritating people, which really does work for capturing people's attention as well.
If you make money on attention, yes, I see
Totally.
clearly that you have to kind of do that. Like we don't necessarily make money on the wrong kind of attention. You happen to be misunderstood on one post, and you're just bound to do that. I'm gonna do it too someday, and I'm gonna be like, look, I got a lot of likes, I got a lot of impressions. Like it is possible to go viral. You just like you say something just the wrong way, and it hits people the wrong way, and it's and you get it. But no, but on the flip side of that, as a customer, like well, if he doesn't like being liked, why would I do business with you? Because I'll always be honest with you. If your idea is crappy, I'll tell you it's crappy. I'm not going to just sell you. I'm not like I know a lot of agencies that are like, well, their money's green. So like at the very least, you could count on me to give my honest assessment of the situation, money and likability be damned. Like I'm not going to make fun of you, of course. That's not how it is. But if you have, I think one of the things that the kind of converse is why have I been successful with that methodology is because I'm always honest with people. Like I'm like, listen, this is not going to work for this reason, or I think this won't work, and I'll try. But I always kind of put it all out on the table. I'm not just going to say, what a wonderful idea. What a wonderful idea. Oh, yeah, it's this price. Here's sign the SOW. We got to get going. I think that type of sale just doesn't freaking work for people. If I don't see it, if I don't get the idea, I just say, I just don't get it. I don't see it. I'm probably not the right guy for this unless you could bring me around to
Yeah, I
seeing
think
what you're trying to build.
pulling it back full circle, like relating this back to the type of the business that we build and what we want to be known for. Like, I don't really care whether I'm known for being liked or not. I care that we have a track record of delivering hard problems and a track record of successful businesses or founders or web experiences or whatever the success metric is. Like you come here to ensure that whatever it is that you want to build gets done properly. It's not really a popularity contest. But that's also why there's two of us, right? Like that I can play that line of popularity contest. You have to play the line of this is going to work. This is going to ship. That's what people expect. And so that's why I say come back to the fact that like there is two of us, but the type of business that I want to run, especially with folks internally here, you know, we refer to this place very often as a dojo, and like the point of martial arts is to improve in martial arts over a long period of time. You don't do martial arts just in a transient way. You really pursue that as a lifestyle. And so when I think about the type of culture that I want to create here, I want people to come here to do the absolute best work of their career. It's not so that they can have the most fun of their career. It's not so that they have like the most likable boss or the most wonderful projects. It's because when you came here, you produced. You produced.
You won
Yeah,
a Super Bowl
legitimately.
ring.
You know, like I go back to like you go back to like
Like you want
Dynasty
to win
World
the
Series
thing. You want to
Yankees.
win the
Like
thing.
not one individual all-star. Everybody's a base hitter contributing back to the glory of the team, and then you go on a freaking dynasty winning championships. It's kind of what you want.
Well, the thing I come back to, producing great work is really hard too. Like what people don't realize, and you'll see this with people's side projects. You can get 80% of the way there, and that last 20% is like 80% of the work. And we see this on every project. That last 20, it's like the difference I find between good developers and great developers is specifically can you get that thing over that last 20%? Because it's really hard to get something to a level of done and polish And it is true at the very end, you catch all sorts of things in the QA and you're like, oh, I missed that. I missed that. Oh, there's a bug here. But getting that over the line before the customer sees it, before it gets out into the world, that is a really hard and grueling process. And people who can stick that out through to the end, it does feel good. I promise you that. I will tell you that. I mean, it feels good when you put out a piece of software and it's running and it's not blowing up and you're not getting the phone's not ringing off the hook. Because I've done it. I've worked at both kinds of agencies where we've launched something and everybody was up all night fixing things because it just wasn't ready. And I've also launched things where I go, well, I'm expecting a few bugs, and then none came. And there were plenty of users and everything worked perfect. And you're like, holy crap, like that was solid. We stuck the landing there, like we really did, the flawless, the software on site, start to finish to ship. We caught everything. We caught everything before users got to it, and you got to strive for
Well,
that.
that gives you a little bit of an idea of the type of business that we're aiming to establish and continue to charge towards. And I think that this is a good building block for it. Explains why we are the way that we are and how we expect performance from our team, what we want to be known for. And so I knew this topic would be triggering, but thanks for joining the episode, dude. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.